Alright guys, this is a tutorial for a animation trigger loop. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have two switches, alright, on each end of the field, alright, and then we're going to create a loop, and it's just one. When you create this one time, and you also create it on the other time. So let's just say I have an example here. I have two poles on each side. Each pole will ignite a color as soon as the game starts, acting as the trigger point, right? So as soon as the game character touches the pole, you will activate the lift, and the lift will go on. And then after you reach the other side, you know what I'm saying, it will just go like that, you know what I'm saying? But with moving lifts like this, it's a little bit more difficult to make sense of it, because then you have to OPE your character to the lift and OPE off the lift, OPE in the lift and OPE off the lift, you know what I'm saying? So we could try to do an OPE in and off the lift as well, with this sort of transition. Does this make sense? So this is the script. So we have a simple animation. It's going to be a interval trigger. Make sure it's off, set to 1 second. We have a regular animation, position Z. Make sure the unchecked able is off. And then we have a able, make sure that's off too. It's -19, 14 seconds. And then invert second half. So the invert second half in looping is always going to have a constant animation. So what it is this animation is going to be constant, but it's going to turn off and on, off and on a loop. You know what I'm saying? Like a trigger loop for 3D characters, or on Trials track. So I'm not even going to say 3D characters. It could work for anything, Trials or not Trials, on different trigger systems. Make sure you have an on leave and on active trigger. So you'd want to have object instances to your character, object instances to the trigger field, and then you would pass in an interval right through all the way up to the top. This is how we go. We're going to a better transition here so we can get more depth with this commentary, so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So for experienced builders, this is pretty easy, but for not so experienced builders, this looks like it's very complicated. Alright, so on active switch, on active meaning that on active, on leave meaning that when you have to make in contact with the switch in order for the switch to work. So when the rider makes in contact with that pole, he's going to have the ability to press Y, but only when he's in contact with the pole. You know what I'm saying? And so make sure use advanced triggers on active, on leave. Make sure after hit is disabled. You can use a multi-chain events to select multiple targets at once. How do I do this? So this is pretty much a presses of buttons with state events on and off, delay intervals, and sound sources. So basically what you want to do is you want to get good with state events on and off, delayed intervals, and direct intervals, right? And then with these intervals, you could change the way the game is being presented and played. So you can change the past and the future with a single touch of a play button. You understand what I'm saying? Like play on and off animations. You know what I'm saying? So basically what you need to do is on the press of this Y button, I will turn on this animation. Then I will turn off this trigger system. After the set amount of time, which is 14 seconds, divided into two parts, which is 7 seconds, it will send an interval to turn off the trigger and turn on this trigger switch. At the same time, you're going to press Y, it's going to trigger the signal. At the same time, it's going to send 4 different other event chain of events. It's going to turn on and off the green switch to give you a visual representation of the visual target that you can turn on and off. It's going to make the sound of the lift on and off. And at the end of the lift, when the lift comes to a stop, it's going to do the end sound. You know what I'm saying? The OPE, the character to the lift, we have to do some more coding that, which is actually really easy because it's all it is. It's on and an off, on and an off. It's usually on and off, so you have to on and then hold that position for the desired position of time and then turn it off. Because, or you can create some sort of magnetical range of keeping your target presented to the lift, only moving the desired world coordinates to the lift. So it's really complicated from what it's saying. You basically just have to play around with it. But this is how would you create a lift. This works usually better if the lift goes up or it goes down. But remember, there's always that tendency of your rider can glitch through this surface and will go right through the floor, you know what I'm saying? So on many of my maps, I didn't have this trigger system being built, you know what I'm saying? Which should be easier because, let's just say, like the creators played it, so Blue Badger got stuck going through the lift, or Shotgun, right? Then they were able to press the switch so the lift can go back down again so it can ride the lift again and keep trying. So if you guys want to have like 3D skill games, or trials games, or something like that, where the lift is stuck on top, you can just call the lift down again, you know what I'm saying? But you have to wait until the lift goes back up. Or when you revert to the last checkpoint, you can reset the command. So you can do it again and again, you know what I'm saying? So this is more like encrypted, so hopefully you guys understood that, and let's give it a test so you know what I'm talking about. So as soon as I start, I'm going to have my FPS here. I'm going to press Y to activate the lift right here. And my lift is going to go. It's going to make a sound, and then it's going to stop. See? And then again. And then again. See what I'm saying? You see, there's no gravity, so I'm just going to continue sliding off the lift. You can increase the friction settings so I don't keep sliding, but that's not going to make much of a difference because this like the traction of this object, I'm still going to slide out. So you could you know, make it to where there is, like, it's so stiff to where I stay on it almost like glue, you know what I'm saying? That's why making a magnetic type surface to glue to this lift would be a good idea, but this is an infinite way to do it, you know what I'm saying? I'll never fall off. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you make a lift system, which trials feature. Looping lift system. See, it just goes on forever. That's how you do it. It's actually not that bad. Requires some code, and then that's it. Now let's OPE our character to the lift. You ready? So we are going to do step-by-step instructions, alright? Alright, so we're going to need a state event. We're going to state a state event on and off, right? We're going to have a delayed impulse between the two states. Make sure it turns it on and off. After 7 seconds, we'll go to off, and then on. What positions do we want to turn on and off? We'll select those after the instructions have been made. We're going to select this target as well as a multi-chain event. We're going to say on and then off. So we want to adjust our height. Normally, when we do following animations, we're going to use a vector object info data source. to select our desired targets of position and angle up or down and direction. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying mostly we use the position of the object, right? So this time we are going to use a object data info source singles, right? To calculate its upward positions. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our X target, our Y target, and our Z target. Okay, we make sure we select those targets. And then we have to select a two-input operator to mathematically adjust our height above the desired target. You know what I'm saying? And then when we have those desired targets in place, we are going to select what target we are trying to position it to. We're going to position it to the left, okay? And then basically what we're going to need is we're going to need an inverted trigger, okay? We're going to set it to 1 tick. Then we need an object position event, because this is going to be a following animation. We're going to turn local off, turn modification off. We're going to say X, Y, and Z. We're going to select our impulse. This is going to be our operand 1. I'm going to say 1 meter, and so we're going to select object target, which is this thing right here. Right, I'm going to say off. Obviously, because we never did that calculation yet. Alright, and we're going to do this. Alright, so trigger on, wait until the lift goes off, I'm off, off, do it again. Off, on, again, so this is an infinite loop, guys. So it will always work continuously. So if you want to make 3D characters and lift animations, now you know how to lift. It only takes a very simple track scripting in order to make these things. So this is a thing that I decided to do, and I learned it quickly. Remember, you guys got to master 3D bands and all the different logic in placements, and you can also that's what you do. So I just made an infinite bass loop system. So remember, it's all about timing with delayed intervals and interval triggers. So if you wanted to make it more realistic, let's just say, because I make those Metroid Prime maps, they're not perfect. I wish I could have incorporated this lift system to make it more perfect, you know what I'm saying? Just like the actual game. And you can do that in Trials. You see that? I just made and OPE on and off, OPE on and off. So it's on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, and it keeps working in a loop. You know what I'm saying? And this is the looping system works very, very constructively. You know what I'm saying? And then you guys could fucking save this. Sorry for the swear. You guys could save this as a group, and you could save it to your favorites as a logic script. So what would you need to do is I have another tutorial, guys, on how to how do I say it? On how to create advanced triggers. So you guys go check out that tutorial, and it'll teach you how to make an advanced trigger, like for buttons and stuff. How to apply a state event from a button press to turn off other buttons and turn on other buttons for commands and stuff like that. How do you make menu systems and stuff? You guys can watch that tutorial. You guys can watch other tutorials that the community has made as well for the trials community. You know what I'm saying? So you can watch my other tutorials. I usually make first-person games myself, but a lot of people have been asking me, hey, how do you make these games? This is a trials motorcycle, it's a driving game, right? So you guys, I just taught you guys how to make a following OPE target system. I even told you how to divide the target above the target a little bit to make it more realistic, and a lift system. So to make this more in